Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I know you don't just see my hand always in the way. I don't know what's wrong with me. And I have a stand. I have it's not a, oh my God, it's not a pop-up. It's a, like a, what do you call those things? Oh my God, my nail. It's like a ring or whatever, attached to the phone. So I just got off my Zoom meeting and I think it went well. So I'm hoping that my interview, it's not for a while, but I'm hoping that what I liked about, to be honest, what I was like cool about is that there was only 3 people that entered for, I guess, the internship, and only 2 showed up. One didn't like not show up. They just couldn't do the Zoom meeting. So she'll have to like do whatever another way. So it was just me and another lady. I was a little surprised because the other lady doesn't have the certification I have. So I was a little confused about that. I was under the impression, and with the emails that I have, that I had to take this course, pass this course, then I had to give these elaborate references. Then I had to send it to my state Office of Mental Health Board, all for review. My graduation, my transcript, my references, who my references are, what they did in their life. Like they wanted so much, right? And then that if they seen fit, that I would then get this provisional certification, right? So I did, right? I got the provisional certification. Ow, it's right there. It's right there. Oh my God, girl. What's wrong with you? It's right up there. You guys have seen it. I've showed you my graduation. And so, yeah. The girl was so, so nice. Now, I was used to working with a gentleman. He's the one who saw me through the entire thing. He never not emailed me back in a timely fashion. It was unreal. He was like, if I emailed him, it was never longer than 12 hours and definitely never longer than 24 hours. And he was always so thorough, like completely thorough. So he got me through like every step, but he got a promotion, rightfully so, because that man was like really on point. And so this really nice girl, she just recently got, like within the last month or so, her provisional certification. She's now the one in charge of the internship. So this particular organization that does the internship has affiliates with other organizations. And basically what they do is they interview people like us, and then they place us at these other locations, and that's where we do our internship. So I was a little confused, but it is what it is. It's actually a classroom setting. You are not working with any clients just yet. So I was like, okay, that's fine, But I was also under the impression that once I got the provisional, I still had to do 2,000 hours of work time, supervised work time, and then take 15 credits of elective courses of my choice from the Peer Academy course. You just log back in. There's a bunch to choose from. As long as it equals 15 credits, you can pick any 5 you want. But that would come, like after the 2,000 hours or during. I think it was after. Excuse me if I'm not mistaken. So I was like, wow, the girl that's here with me, she's not, she doesn't even hold any certification yet. I don't even think she's fully finished. No, she's not even fully finished her her classes. So I was a little confused. Like, I went ham and I did my 13 courses. It's core courses. Those are the mandatory by your state of Office of Mental Health. Everybody's got a different one, but that's my state's mandatory core courses that you must take, you must pass, and you cannot get lower than like a 70. And then you go ahead with the internship. So I don't know where the miscommunication was. I have the emails. I don't know. So at any rate, I had gotten to talk to the girl a few minutes prior to the other person entering in. So, I spoke to her. I let her in on, my personal experience, lived experience, and then experiences that I've had by way of people in my life. Also, um, things that I have learned through people that have worked in the field. My mother is a certified mental health therapy aide. She is retired. She worked for a very prominent psychiatric hospital for like 40 years, 39.8 years, so 2 months shy. Yeah, 2 months shy of 40 years. And she also had worked caretaking as a home health aide as a second job when she was younger. But my mother started at 18 and she pumped it out, and she was able, I think, to retire in her 50s. Yeah. So her late 50s, but still. So I was just a little confused, but it is what it is. So of course I made notes as I was, listening, and of course I asked questions, and then I'll ask even more questions. It's paid on a certain scale. So it's not like I can't it's 19 weeks. I can't do 19 weeks with just this pay. I mean, I can pinch pennies, but I want to move more forward. I want to move forward a lot quicker. 19 weeks is what? 4 months and 3 weeks, so 5 months, Yeah, it's like the end of the summer through the holidays. And I really don't want to start another year not really doing this position, I completed this in October, and then I did the ultimate of the ultimate so I could get a lot more opportunities. So I did reach out to one of their organizations, which I had applied for prior to even knowing that they are, that they're in not in cahoots, that they that they represent, um, the internship, or that they work with them. So I didn't realize that when you apply on certain, like Snag a Job, or uh, I don't know, whatever those things are, that sometimes the person that, when you send the application to, it doesn't email your email. It emails an email that is given to you by the service you're using. So if you're using, like, Find Me a Job or something like that, it's Find Me a Job, and they give you like an email. And I know that there's like a message box, but I feel like when the employer reaches out, especially, they have my cover letter, they have my resume, which is my home address, all my contact information, my phone number, my email, all of that. I assumed that that's where they would email. So I had went in and kind of Googled peer, because, I am looking for a peer recovery specialist position. And so I came across the one particular place that I had applied to weeks ago, and they had reached out. I missed it. And then I said, you know what? Look, they're part of this internship. I could very well maybe be placed there. Who knows? But I did already apply there. They did want to hear from me. So I called. I left a message. She was not available, but I called and I let her know that I just um, did a quick little meeting in regards to getting an internship with so and was made aware that you are one of the organizations that they work with. I hold a provisional certification and I would love to start working. And I'm going to just say prayers and see what happens, you know. Maybe she will reach out to me and say, you know what, let's meet. She actually said that in the message to call her. Here's my extension so we can meet for an interview. So it's not far from me. It's maybe like 15 minutes. It's 15 minutes, maybe 20 at most, depending on the time of day. But it's not like miles and miles and miles away. It's just the getting there. It's a lot of how do you say, cluster area. It's a clustered area. But I'm hoping that maybe she'll hear that I am trying to do this internship and maybe she will want to meet with me. I didn't know that people could apply for the internship without being fully done with their courses. So that was new to me because I would have applied for the other internship that happened 3 months ago had I known that. I thought I had to complete all of this in order to get to the internship. So I'm a little disappointed because they could have been that much more ahead. Now, the 19 weeks, even working their maximum 21 hours, is only going to give me 399 hours. So I need to figure out what this 2,000 hours is about. Where does it come from? Is it written in stone? How does that work? Is that the only way that you get a standard certification? Do people not always go for a standard certification? Do they just work with a provisional? I think that you have to have a standard in order to get your own, clientele and your own caseload. I just think that that's how it goes. But I don't know. I could be totally wrong. So we're going to see what's up. So I'm excited. I'm, a little nervous, but more excited because at least I have some answers. I feel accomplished, like, okay, I got through it. I got some info and, I now can see what lies ahead. I also did apply for another organization. They're not affiliated with this particular internship. However, their application was very in depth, very, very in depth. Number one, it was just super, and it was like a half-hour application. And then they send you an email like, thank you for submitting your application, and basically they will get back to you if they feel you're a good candidate. How do you know if someone's a good candidate? Just by looking at paper, just by looking at a resume and, I don't know how that works, but I don't know. So we have that on the table. Maybe it'll be good. Maybe it won't. I don't know where that location is, but I'm not trying to go any further than like 15, 20 miles at best. But, I'm excited just that I got through this Zoom meeting, that I called this lady, and that she's affiliated with the internship program, and hopefully that might, work something out for me. So we shall see. And yeah, say a little prayer for your girl, because I definitely need it. This is something I really want to do. I worked really hard for this, really hard for this, in so many different ways, not just school wise, just so many different ways. And I feel like I deserve, to have a decent career. I feel like I deserve to have a way to make myself feel good. And I've always been someone who, not just caretaker wise, I mean, I've always been someone who is able to sort of ground people, and with my life experience, help people. They always say people that have certain experiences or have been through certain traumatic events, they can always help the next person, but they can't help themselves. That is what it is. I know that I 100% can definitely make a difference in many people's lives. And mental health is huge. It's huge everywhere in America, and very much so in our state. And our governor, I know it's a burden on our resources, but the more you cut, the more burden it will be on our resources. And if you really think about it, not only will it be just a burden on our resources if you cut programs and just stuff them on the street, but then the drugs go up, the crime goes up, all of that goes up, because now addicts, people with mental illness, they're in survival mode. They're not getting medicated. They feel like they have nowhere to turn. We can't. We have to address it. Mental health has to be addressed. I can tell you right now, if there's 5 of you watching, 3 out of the 5, including myself, 3 out of the 5 of us have mental illness, and I know I'm one of them. So, I suffer from anxiety. I can definitely say I can fall a little bit, where I have some lows and some highs. Yeah. Am I someone who needs to be medicated? As far as a professional has told me, no. That doesn't mean that something in later in life may trigger it, and it may get worse, but I'm able to keep the anxiety at bay. And I think my lifestyle right now, me not doing as much as I'd like to do, plays a big part in how I feel about myself. And so I attribute that, to depression and stuff. And it's not. It's the more I do, the better I am. The more things I'm accomplishing, the better I am. You could tell just in the video. You could tell just in my demeanor that doing the Zoom meeting, making the phone call for the job that I wanted or that I would like, calling this one place and getting those things accomplished, that made me feel, great, accomplished. Made an accomplishment that made me feel good. And so my whole demeanor has changed. Yesterday I was not in the best of moods. And I am like, I don't know, 4 or 5 days away of getting your friend. So usually around this time, I'm ready to, what. So, doing certain things in life, whether it's getting up and keeping a routine, um, or getting out of the house and taking care of certain things. I'm someone who can't just stay stagnant. I tried that, right? I tried that. I fell off. I fell in a rut, and it didn't work out well for me. It really didn't, and it's not for me. it totally, it took me to a place of like a manic state where I couldn't even sit still. I was up, down, all around. I didn't know how to feel. I didn't know if it was ever going to go away. I couldn't focus. I wasn't eating. I was depressed. And when I'm stressed and depressed, I'm not a stress eater. I'm not a depression eater. That's far from it. And that's how I lost a lot of weight, is because I just simply couldn't eat. I just couldn't even put it in my mouth. Like I just could not eat anything. I had to force myself to drink water so I didn't get dehydrated. So, that's all my dad. My dad was the same way. You could always tell when my dad was comfortable because he would get a few extra LBs. Then when he was maybe not happy and things were not going well in his life or his marriage, right away. He'd live off the coffee and live off the cigarettes, outside, do his lawn, and he would drop weight like that. I am all my father. All my father. I have those same traits. So I really needed, to make a conscious, notable effort. Like, okay, Diana, this is the pattern you fall into. You got to snap out of it. So for now, until you can get your head and mind straight, get some things going, right? I needed to take care of, I hadn't been to doctors for years, so I needed to take care of my GYN. I needed to see a primary. I needed to see a dentist. I needed to see a dermatologist. I mean, I really needed a full workup. And I still have to go to the dermatologist I have to go to, and the eye doctor. But I had to start right away. I needed blood work and I needed my GYN. Those were very two important things because I was above 35 and I was just letting time just go by and not taking care of things. So I had to push myself. But once I did it, I was like, okay, all right, I'm okay. And then the next thing and the next thing. And that's kind of how I ended up here. I decided, okay, I wasn't qualified at the moment for the job that I wanted. So I needed a plan B. Plan B happened to be this peer recovery specialist situation. I came across it from a friend, but prior to that, I had some other legal things that I needed to take care of. And I knew if I didn't take care of it, I was not going to be able to sustain somewhat of a comfortable or semi-comfortable life career for my family. And that's when I said, no, I got to take care of things now. It should have been done years ago. I'm taking care of it now. So I went and did all the paperwork, did what I had to do, and God, the judge, the prosecutor, and all my research and the truth of the matter was that I deserved it. And it was a complete triumph for me. It was a complete win. And then from there, I just feel like, that just recently happened. From there, I was like, wow, now things are tangible for me. In the interim of all of that, I decided, let me go to school because I can do it from home. So I had to discipline myself every morning, get up, make my coffee, get on my laptop, spend 6, 8 hours sometimes a day, eyeballs ready to pop out or I wanted to rip them out of my head. Took my 13 core courses. Sometimes I would take the test and I would be like, oh my God, I'm going to fail. Thank God they gave you 2 chances. And I think one of them I needed to take twice. And I think that was because I had just gotten a 70. And on that particular test, you needed to get a 75 because it wasn't an even amount of questions. So the questions didn't count for 10. They counted for like 15. So I'm like, oh no, if I bomb this, then I gotta wait. I gotta wait another 3 months just for this one test. It was an anxiety-ridden experience doing that program. But I said, I'm not doing anything right now. It's not gonna cost me anything. I learned so much from it. It did weigh a little bit heavy on my mind because a lot of it was about mental health. And sometimes I would question, they want lived experience. I don't have some of these things. Is this like, am I doing the right thing? I had to talk to my counselor about certain things, but I got through it and I did well. And the state seen the same thing. And when I passed that, I was able to go to court and tell them, not only did I go to school, not only did I do good and graduate, but New York State Office of Mental Health said, here's your certification, girlfriend. Now get yourself moving and go do what you want to do. And I think with all of those things that I did, I took the bull by the you-know-what and said, I have things that I want to accomplish. I want to get done. I want to have a family and I want to be in control of my future and take care of the things that I need to take care of, which is myself, number one, what I want to do in life. And my partner is great and he supports me in so many ways. It's unbelievable. And I don't mean money, oh, he might help me with this or help me with that. No. Um, he boosts not my ego. He boosts my, I'm drawing a blank. He just makes me feel like, when you went to court and I seen you, your knees were about to buckle. When she came at you with certain things, you stood straight up, shoulders back, head up, looked at her straight in her eyes and answered her question with pride. And I was like, you're right. And he still will bring that up. And I'm like, wow. He goes, that is something that never happens. I'll say it in every video. That is a huge accomplishment. I did it with no lawyer. Lawyers were looking at me in the elevator like, wow. And I'm thinking to myself, shoot, should I be going to school to be a lawyer? But I don't have the 8 to 10 years to dedicate right now, So, I just wanted to catch you guys, up to speed, ask for some prayers, let you guys know if any of you are in a rut, if you're in depression, if you're in addiction, if you get yourself a notebook, write down some things that are immediate to you, that are important, that will help get you out of the bad spot you're in. That's number one. Number two, you will have to seek yourself professional help in whatever area you're in, whatever state you're in. That's what I mean. And then go from there because it 100% can be done. And that's it. I am living proof. I used to be in and out of, not doing the right thing, going nowhere. And here I am with some education and a whole lot of knowledge and skill and probably going to have a decent career, if not a very good career, and a very good life. Because that's what I want, that's what I'm working for, and that's what I choose to manifest. So things don't just happen. Things happen for a reason. So just remember, you don't have to stay stuck in this. You don't have to. If you have any questions, comment below, like this video, subscribe if you want more of me. And prayers, please. I pray for all of you. I pray for all of those who are sick and suffering. And I will see you guys in the next one. Ciao.